Just when you thought you had seen it all, you hadn't. There has been a NASCAR trade. Well, I don't think it's officially a trade because there's not like waivers and there's not, processing of a trade. There's not all the technicalities of a trade. Also, I feel like there could have been more. Anyways, I'll give you my opinion on that later. But Spire did technically call it a trade in their press release. Well, in this supposed trade that's not a trade, Justin Haley, who today and tomorrow will still be the driver of the Ware Racing number 51, and Corey LaJoie, who today and tomorrow will be the driver of the number 7 Spire Motorsports car, they will swap seats starting next week at Kansas, and that will continue for the rest of 2024. Yes, there has been a lot of rumors, reports, speculation that Justin Haley would end up in the number 7, so that is no big surprise. And Corey LaJoie had been tied to the number 51 car, but obviously with the current situation of the fact that, they currently drive each other's future seats, both teams decided, hey, let's pull the trigger on this now. Neither of us are in the playoffs. We're fighting for our own different point standings, and so why not? Let's do it. And that's ultimately what happened. There was a driver trade, essentially, and it's happening mid-season. Now, it was confirmed by Spire Motorsports. Jeff Dickerson said that Spire Motorsports would keep Justin Haley in 2025 and beyond, so it is for sure confirmed Justin Haley will drive the number 7 for Spire Motorsports through the rest of 2024 through 2025, and it's a multi-year deal. Also, with driving the number 7 means he will be paired up with crew chief Rodney Childers. Remember, Rodney Childers, over the summer, it was announced that he would be joining Spire Motorsports. So that is a new combination. That is going to be a fun combination, if you ask me. Justin Haley, I got to admit, it stings a little bit. I really wanted to see him build Ware Racing up. He has had a fantastic year at Ware Racing. We all think of Ware Racing as the backmarkers, the meme of NASCAR, the guys who finish last place unless it's a super speedway. Justin Haley has changed that. Justin Haley has almost consistently been in the top 20 in a Ware Racing car. He has gotten multiple top 10s in less than one full season at non-super speedways. The only top 10s Ware Racing had gotten before the season, super speedways. Well, Justin Haley hasn't just done it on non-super speedways. He's done it at Darlington and Gateway. 2 very difficult tracks. So Justin Haley has elevated that program, and I was really wanting to see him there long term, see him there build something special, see him get their first win potentially, but that will not happen. Of course, there were rumors earlier in the summer about him going to another team, whether it was, I can't remember who the availability was, 2311 I think it was. And Justin Haley committed to Ware. He said he wanted to be there long term. They gave him his shot. They essentially saved his career after he was released from college, and he felt he owed it to him. Well, at the end of the day, he's going back to Spire, where he actually technically started his Cup Series career. Remember, he got Spire Motorsports their first Cup victory at Daytona in 2019 in a rain-shortened race. But Justin Haley, he will be going back to Spire. I think it's a great combination, and yes, I know I said I would have loved to see Justin Haley at Ware Racing and build something special, but at the end of the day, this is indeed a step up. Spire Motorsports is ascending. They have Rodney Childers in their group now, Carson Hocevar, a young star. They have Michael McDowell and Travis Peterson. That duo has been very good over the past couple of years. Michael McDowell, a Cup Series veteran who's won multiple races. So that team is on the rise. They are quickly gaining. They are quickly building up. They got all three cars in the top 10 last week at Watkins Glen. They are looking to do something special in the future, and Justin Haley is a part of that something special. Now on the other side of this trade is Corey LaJoie and Ware Racing. Ware Racing did not commit to Corey LaJoie beyond the 2024 season. They said, this is essentially going to be an audition, in a sense, for Corey LaJoie. They want to figure it out. They want to figure out what they're doing next year for both cars. They did commit to having 2 cars next year. They would not commit to if they were going to have a full-time driver in both cars or if they were going to continue with a full-time in the 51, part-time in the 15. But they do plan on fielding 2 cars next year. As for Corey LaJoie, as I said, this is going to be an audition. 2024 has been rough for Corey LaJoie. He's had, I feel like every time I talk about Corey LaJoie, I say this, but he's had his flashes of potential. You look at that Atlanta race he almost won a couple of years ago. He's a great super speedway racer, but this year specifically, he's had a lot of on-track incidents, a lot of dumb moments in a sense. You look at last week, lap 1 at Watkins Glen, he decides to wreck the field on lap 1. Like, what are you doing, man? The Kyle Busch incident at Pocono. So LaJoie, while Spire has taken a huge step forward, we look at Carson Hocevar, how well he's done this year. Zane Smith's really picked it up the second half of 2024, but Corey LaJoie, he's had his moments. And once again, he got a huge finish at Darlington, a top 10 there, a great finish at Watkins Glen. So in the past few weeks, he's actually been doing really well, but he's had those moments. He's had those incidents. And so as for his future, it's still up in the air a little bit, but he's got a great opportunity to prove himself these last 7 races. I guess it'll be 1 with Spire and then 7 with Rick Ware. So he's got 7 races with Rick Ware Racing to prove why he deserves that seat in the Cup Series, why he deserves to be at Rick Ware Racing. As for this trade itself, as I said, if this were like a real trade, like an NBA trade or an NFL trade or an MLB trade, I would have expected that, Rick Ware Racing would have wanted a little bit more in return. Just looking at the current driver value, I would value Justin Haley a little bit more. Come on, Rick Ware Racing or Spire. Give Rick Ware Racing, give him some draft picks. Give him some pit crew guys. Give him some cash considerations, But at the end of the day, I don't think it's an official trade. But the word trade was used, and then obviously with the driver swap happening at the same time, makes it seem like a trade. As for other NASCAR news that has happened this weekend, we do have the Xfinity race tonight. Remember, that's tonight on the CW. The CW takes over for the Xfinity Series. And as for other NASCAR news, Harrison Burton, it was announced today that he would be going to AM Racing in the Xfinity Series. So Harrison Burton will be sticking with Ford. He will be full-time next year in the Xfinity Series. And then Colleague Racing made it official today that Ty Norris would indeed join the team. That was reported earlier this week. It is now official. He will be, I think it's a chief business officer. So that's all the NASCAR news we have for today. A driver trade happened. Corey LaJoie will leave the 7 and go to the 51. And then Justin Haley will leave the 51 and go to the 7 starting next week at Kansas. And that will be in effect for the rest of 2024. Haley will remain at Spire in 2025. Corey LaJoie is auditioning for that 51 seat. And if he doesn't get it, don't know where he goes. But we'll see how these next few weeks go for both drivers. Obviously, it's kind of a warm-up. It's kind of a get used to each other, get used to the teams, kind of, get a feel for each other. And it actually kind of works in a sense. Now, if these were 2 playoff teams, I'd say hard no, and they would not have done this if it was a playoff team. But, they're not really fighting for much. They're not going to be fighting for wins every week. Why not try to get them accustomed to their new teams? Why not try something different? Try the seat swap. Makes sense. Try it. Get a step ahead before 2025 starts. So, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you tonight. We will talk about the Xfinity race on the CW at Bristol.